Have you ever been lying in bed with a guy, the light's low, his arm wrapped around you, and thought to yourself, is this it? Or is there something more he's secretly craving but not saying out loud? Because here's the truth, men, no matter how bold, confident, or even cocky they act in bed, almost never reveal their deepest desires. They'll tell you what they think you want to hear. They'll play it safe. They'll go along with the routine, but what they're really fantasizing about, that stays locked away. And it's not because they don't want it, it's because they don't want to risk judgment, rejection, or worse, killing the mood. Now, here's where it gets interesting when you discover those hidden cravings and you're bold enough to act on them. You don't just blow his mind for one night. You actually create an unforgettable experience, one that makes him think, damn, I can never look at her the same way again. And here's the kicker. Most women assume men are simple in bed, that they only care about one thing, and that once it's done, game over. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Men might not say it, but they want to be surprised. They want to be teased. They want to feel chosen and desired in ways they can't even put into words. The problem, they'll never ask for it, because asking ruins the fantasy. What they really want is for you to unlock that side of them naturally, without them having to explain it. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. Because when you know these secrets, you stop being just another woman he slept with, and you become the woman who awakened a side of him he didn't even know he had. The woman he brags about to his friends without even realizing he's doing it. The woman who stays on his mind long after the night is over. So get ready, because I'm about to share with you the 6 dirty things men secretly want you to do in bed, but will never say out loud. And trust me, once you know them, you'll never see your man the same way again. Let's start with one of the biggest fantasies men have, but almost never admit out loud they love it when you take control. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, wait, aren't men supposed to be the dominant ones? Yes, in many cases they love that role. But here's the secret. Even the most confident, dominant guy gets turned on by a woman who suddenly flips the script. It's not about power, it's about surprise. Think about it. He's used to leading. He's used to being the one who initiates the kiss, moves things forward, sets the pace. But the moment you grab him by the collar, push him against the wall, or climb on top before he even knows what's happening, you've broken the pattern, and breaking the pattern is sexy. Why? Because it jolts him out of autopilot and forces him into the moment. Imagine this, he's expecting the usual soft kisses, him taking the lead. Maybe the same rhythm you've fallen into before, but instead you grab his wrists, pin them down playfully, and whisper, "Night, I'm in charge." His heart rate spikes, his brain goes wild, and suddenly he's seeing a side of you he never knew existed, that unexpected confidence. That's intoxicating. Now here's the thing, you don't have to be dominant 24/7. This isn't about acting like someone you're not. In fact, if you tried to control everything all the time, it would lose its magic. What makes this powerful is the contrast. He's used to leading, so when you decide to lead, sometimes hits harder. Ladies, I'll tell you this, men secretly fantasize about being taken, about you being the one who can't resist them. They want to feel like you are so turned on that you can't wait another second. They won't ask for it because, again, no guy wants to risk saying, hey, can you just push me down and ride me? That doesn't exactly sound smooth, so they stay quiet. But when you surprise him with it, you become the woman who brought his fantasy to life. And here's a pro tip. Taking control doesn't always have to be physical. It can be verbal. The moment you say something like, don't move, I'm not done with you yet, you've flipped the energy. It's playful, it's dirty, and it makes him feel like the object of your desire. That's insanely hot for a man. Now, let me engage you for a second. Imagine yourself in that role. How would it feel if, instead of waiting for him to lead, you leaned in, whispered in his ear, and set the pace? How would it feel to see the look on his face when he realizes, oh damn, she's in charge tonight? That image, that's the secret power I want you to tap into. Here's the bottom line, men will never tell you this, but they crave a woman who can shock them in bed. They want the fire, the unpredictability, the thrill of surrender. And when you give that to them on your terms, you don't just make the sex hotter, you make you unforgettable. Because the truth is, anyone can be good in bed, but only a confident woman who knows when to take control can make a man's fantasies come alive. So remember, don't be afraid to surprise him. Don't be afraid to break the routine. And don't be afraid to take control, because the moment you do, you'll unlock a side of him he didn't even know he was hiding. Let's be honest for a second. Talking dirty can feel awkward. Most women overthink it. What if I sound weird? What if he thinks it's too much? What if I say the wrong thing and kill the mood? But here's the truth, men secretly crave it. They want it more than they'll ever admit out loud. Why? Because words are fuel for a man's ego and imagination. When you talk dirty, even just a little, you're not just describing what's happening, you're giving him the ultimate validation that you're turned on, that you want him, and that he's doing something right. Now, let me make this clear, dirty talk doesn't have to mean giving an X-rated monologue. It's not about memorizing a script or acting like someone you're not. It's about expressing desire out loud in your own authentic way. And sometimes the simplest phrases are the most powerful. Think about this, you're with him, and instead of staying silent, you lean in and whisper, "I want more." Or maybe you breathe out, "Don't stop." Two little words that flip a switch in his head. Suddenly his confidence skyrockets. He feels like he's driving you wild. And when he feels that way, he gives even more. See, men are wired to perform. They want to know they're pleasing you, but they don't always know how they're doing. So when you give him verbal feedback, even in the form of a Mona sigh or a whispered command, you remove the guesswork. You make him feel like he's not just doing okay, he's blowing your mind. Now here's where it gets fun. Dirty talk can also be playful. Imagine teasing him with, "You've been thinking about this all day, haven't you?" Or, "I love watching you lose control." You're not just talking, you're painting a picture. You're taking him out of the ordinary and into the fantasy. And here's the secret most women don't realize: men don't just want to hear what they're doing to you. They want to hear what you want. If you whisper, "I need you deeper," or "I love it when you touch me there," you're guiding him without killing the vibe. You're directing the movie while he feels like the star. Think about it this way: silence can be sexy, but it can also leave him guessing. Words, on the other hand, make him feel chosen, desired, craved, and that's what men fantasize about. Even the most confident ones, they'll never say, "Can you talk dirty to me?" because that would ruin the magic. But when you give it naturally, you unlock a side of him that he's too shy to ask for. Ladies, I want you to imagine this the next time you're with him. Instead of staying quiet, you let one phrase slip. Nothing rehearsed. Nothing complicated, just something you're genuinely feeling in that moment. Watch his eyes, watch the way his body reacts. You'll see instantly how powerful your words are. Because here's the bottom line: dirty talk isn't about being raunchy, it's about being real. It's about letting him know with words what your body is already telling him. And once you start, you'll notice something amazing. He'll open up more, he'll try harder, and the whole experience becomes hotter. So remember, you don't need to be explicit, and you don't need to be a poet. You just need to be honest, playful, and bold enough to say out loud what you're feeling inside. That little whisper might just be the thing he never knew he was dying to hear. Here's a little secret about men: as much as they love initiating intimacy, nothing drives them crazier than when you start it, especially when it comes out of nowhere. Think about how things usually play out. Most of the time, he's the one who makes the first move. He kisses your neck, pulls you close, touches your hand in that way, and sure, it feels great. But when he's always the one starting, it can begin to feel predictable. Now imagine flipping the script. He's just sitting there scrolling on his phone, or maybe he's walking out of the shower with a towel around his waist. You look at him, and instead of waiting for him to come to you, you grab him by the shoulders, kiss him deeply, and let your hands wander. He doesn't even see it coming, and that shock factor, that's what makes it unforgettable. Why is this so powerful? Because men want to feel wanted. They don't just want to be the hunter. They want to feel like the prey sometimes too. When you pounce on him without warning, it tells him, "I can't keep my hands off you." And let's be real, that is one of the sexiest things a man can hear without a single word being spoken. Think about it from his perspective. He's used to initiating. He's used to wondering if you're in the mood. But when you're the one who surprises him, it erases all doubt. It tells him, not only am I into this, but I'm into you right here, right now. And here's the kicker. When you initiate without warning, you don't even have to go all the way. Sometimes the tease is even hotter. Imagine leaning over while he's cooking and whispering something suggestive in his ear. Or climbing onto his lap while he's working at his desk, kissing him until he forgets what he was typing. You might not even take it further in that moment, but trust me, he'll be thinking about it all day. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if he's not in the mood? Ladies, here's the truth. Most men are almost always in the mood when the woman they desire initiates. And even if he's tired or distracted, the act of you showing that kind of hunger for him flips a switch inside. It makes him feel irresistible. It makes him feel powerful. And it deepens his attraction to you in ways you can't imagine. Here's a little experiment I want you to try. The next time you're with your guy, don't wait for him. Don't give him the usual cues. Instead, catch him completely off guard. Pin him against the wall when he walks in the door. Pull him onto the bed in the middle of a lazy Sunday. Or kiss him passionately in the middle of the hallway before you both leave for work. Watch the way his eyes widen. Watch the way his whole body reacts. That's the moment you'll see just how much this turns him on. Because here's the bottom line. When you initiate without warning, you're not just giving him sex. You're giving him the gift of feeling chosen, desired, craved. That's what he secretly wants, but will never say out loud. And when you make him feel that way, you stop being just his lover. You become his fantasy. Here's a little secret about men that might surprise you. As much as they love fast, wild, passionate moments, what really drives them insane is the tease. That slow, deliberate build up that makes them wait, ache, and crave you even more. See, men don't usually say this out loud because they're afraid it'll make them sound needy. But deep down, what they secretly want is for you to take your time with them, to make them feel like every second with you is a delicious kind of torture. Think about it like this. Have you ever been starving and then smelled food cooking in the kitchen? That mouth-watering anticipation? I can't wait another second feeling. That's what teasing does in the bedroom. And trust me, it's addictive. Here's why teasing is so powerful. Most guys are used to things moving quickly. A kiss, a touch, and before they know it, you're both going full speed ahead. It's fun, it's hot, but it's also predictable. When you slow things down, when you linger, when you make him wait, you take him out of routine and into fantasy. Suddenly, every second feels heightened. Every touch feels more intense. Every kiss feels electric. Now, teasing doesn't mean being cold or withholding. It's not about rejecting him. It's about playing with him. You're giving him little tastes, little hints, and then pulling back just enough to keep him on edge. Imagine kissing him passionately, running your hands down his chest, and then stopping, leaning back with a smile that says, "Not yet." That pause alone, it'll drive him wild. And here's the fun part. Teasing isn't just physical, it's mental too. You can tease him with your words. Whisper something like, "I know what you want, but you'll have to be patient." Or send him a flirty text in the middle of the day that makes him think about you until he can't focus on anything else. That kind of anticipation doesn't just build desire, it makes the eventual moment explosive. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're out at dinner together. You lean in, touch his thigh under the table, and give him that look, the one that says you're up to no good. But then you go right back to sipping your wine as if nothing happened. He's sitting there, heart racing, trying to keep a straight face, and the only thing on his mind is getting you alone. That tension, that's teasing at its finest. Now, I know some women worry, what if he gets frustrated? Ladies, let me tell you, yes, he will get frustrated. That's the point. But it's not the bad kind of frustration. It's the kind that makes him desperate for you, the kind that makes the eventual release so much sweeter. Here's the bottom line. Men secretly crave a woman who knows how to build the fire before letting it burn. They don't just want instant gratification. They want the chase, the anticipation, the suspense. And when you become the woman who can give that to him, you're not just satisfying him, you're addicting him. So remember, don't be afraid to slow things down. Don't be afraid to tease, to pull back, to make him beg with his eyes before you finally give in. Because when you draw it out, you don't just give him pleasure, you give him an experience he'll never forget. Now, here's one of the dirtiest little secrets men will never admit. They love being praised in bed, not just physically, not just with a good job, pat on the back. No, I mean real raw appreciation. See, men are wired to perform. It's in their DNA. whether it's in the gym, at work, or in the bedroom. They want to feel like they're doing a great job. But here's the problem: they'll never ask you for validation, because if a man turns to you mid-moment and says, "Hey, am I doing okay?" well, that would instantly kill the mood, right? So instead they keep quiet. They hope, they guess. They read your body language and try to figure it out. But when you break the silence with praise, you light him up like fireworks. Imagine this: he's kissing your neck, his hands are on your body, and you whisper, "God, I love how strong you feel." Or maybe he's taking control, and you moan, "You drive me crazy when you do that." In that moment, you've just boosted his confidence to a level you can't even imagine. And a confident man, he's not just good in bed, he's unforgettable in bed. Because praise isn't just about stroking his ego, it's about making him feel like your hero. Men want to know that they're not just having you, they're pleasing you, exciting you, blowing your mind. And when you tell them in clear and sexy words that they are, it doesn't just make him feel good, it makes him want to give you even more. Now let's add in the second part, play. This is where things get really fun. Men crave playfulness in bed, the kind of energy where you're laughing, teasing, and having fun with it. Maybe you push him back down when he tries to move. Maybe you bite his lip and smirk like you're daring him to come closer. Maybe you whisper something naughty and then giggle when you see his reaction. That blend of sensuality and lightheartedness, that's what keeps things electric. Because here's the truth: sex isn't supposed to be serious all the time. It's supposed to be exciting, playful, and filled with energy. When you mix praise with play, you're telling him, "I love what you're doing and I want more, but I'm also having the time of my life with you." That combination is irresistible. Here's an example you can try while you're in the middle of the moment. Grab his face, look him in the eye, and say, "Do you even know how sexy you are right now?" Watch the way his body reacts. Watch how his energy shifts. You've just turned a physical act into an emotional high. And trust me, he will remember that for a very long time. So here's the bottom line: men won't ask for praise. They won't admit how much they need it. But when you give it, when you make him feel like he's the best man you've ever had, you don't just stroke his ego, you unlock his passion. You give him the freedom to go deeper, harder, better. And when you add playfulness into the mix, you create an environment where he doesn't just want you, he worships you. Because let's face it, anyone can be good in bed, but the woman who praises and plays, she becomes unforgettable. We've just walked through 5 powerful secrets men desperately want in bed, but will never say out loud, from you taking control unexpectedly, to whispering those dirty little words, to surprising him when he least expects it, to teasing him until he's begging, and finally praising and playing like the confident, irresistible woman you are. Here's the thing: none of these secrets are about being someone you're not. They're about amplifying what you already have inside of you, the confidence, the sensuality, the playfulness that makes you unforgettable. Because men may never admit it, but they crave a woman who can shake things up, break the routine, and give them the kind of experience that keeps them coming back for more. And here's what I want you to remember: the woman who does this isn't just fun in bed. She's the woman who leaves a mark. She's the woman he thinks about when he's at work, when he's with his friends, even years later. She's unforgettable. So my challenge for you is this: the next time you're with your man, pick just one of these and try it. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just choose one. Maybe tonight you surprise him by taking control. Or maybe you whisper something in his ear you've never said before. Watch his reaction. Watch how his energy shifts. And then come back and tell me about it in the comments. I dare you. If you love this, hit that like button. Share it with a friend who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe, because trust me, the next video will take things even deeper.